To optimize global brand penetration, our strategy leverages cross-cultural segmentation, localized content, and synergistic omni-channel deployment. That was my mic drop moment at the end of a presentation I did in my international marketing class back in college. The professor, a blazer-wearing silver fox from Luxembourg, looked at me and said, "I want you to remember 3 words." I said, "Here's an A?" But instead he said, "Theory into practice." Theory into practice? But sir, did you not hear me say synergistic omnichannel deployment? You must explain theory into practice. I had no idea what he was talking about at the time, because at the time, all I wanted was the result. At the time, all I wanted was the A. Also at the time, I didn't know the class was just pass-fail. Goes to show the type of student I was at the time. Since I didn't get what I wanted, I sulked like a little baby. As soon as the class ended, I stomped out of there with my batitude, convinced the professor was the problem. Theory into practice? I had no idea what that even meant. Did the guy even see my presentation slides? I wrote things like synergistic omnichannel deployment. Theory into practice. These words stuck with me. And as time went on, I started to realize what they meant. It's the difference between knowing and doing. It's taking what I've read in a book, learned in a classroom, heard during a speech or a podcast, and applying it to real life. It's not just knowing the recipe, but also firing up the stove and cooking it. It's not just knowing the workout, it's showing up to the gym and doing the reps. It's not just knowing what it takes to be a creator, it's creating. It's not just knowing what it takes to be a good person, it's being one. So, synergistic omni-channel deployment. In theory, it's a strategy to reach a wider audience through multiple platforms, but with a consistent message and tone, and then deploying that strategy. In practice, it's listing the Daily Deuce on multiple podcast platforms, setting up social media channels with the handle @DailyDeucePod, and starting a Substack for email content, all with the same message and tone of the Daily Deuce, and then executing that strategy, which I did right before recording this. I was too immature at the time to know it, but that blazer-wearing silver fox Luxembourgian was onto something. Now, as for you, my fellow deucers, you've heard a week's worth of deuces so far. You've heard theories and formulas and a Beatles song with a lot of F words. You've heard how I've applied certain theories and formulas to my own life, and you'll hear more of that in deuces going forward. Maybe even more Beatles songs with F words, depends on how long I could go without getting sued. But today, I want you to think about these 3 words: theory into practice, and how you can put them into practice. What theoretical knowledge have you received recently that you can start applying in practice? Here's an example. Day 3's Daily Deuce was the P.R.I.D.E formula. Process over result, resilience over fear, internal over external, discomfort over complacency, excellence over perfection. That's the theory. But what does P.R.I.D.E look like in practice? What process can you work today? What fear can you push past today? What external factor outside of your control can you let go of today? What discomfort in the name of growth can you embrace today? What can you deploy with excellence today? Theory is incredibly helpful in inspiring change, but applying it to your life and practice is what creates the change. You want self-confidence, self-esteem, self-worth, self-pride? It's not built with theories on presentation slides. It's built with daily practice. Deucer out. To go find that blazer-wearing silver fox Luxembourgian and tell him I theoried into practiced and deployed some omni-channel synergism, baby! What's up, Deucerinos? If you dug that deuce, the ones before it, and the ones after it, even if you haven't heard any of them yet, then drop a follow or a subscribe or whatever else proves you like this damn thing. I'll be posting Deuce content on Instagram and TikTok at DailyDeucePod and writing a Deuce newsletter on Substack, also at DailyDeucePod. You can also find links in the show notes. At the time of recording this, pretty sure the follower count is lower than the years I've played professional badminton. But hey, it's omni-channel synergistic deployment, not omni-channel synergistic wait till you have 1 million followers deployment. So drop a follow, punch a subscribe, and take some pride in knowing that you were one of the firsts. Thank you all, and I love you all. Deucerowskis.